Hey, PC Games Girl here, and hello and welcome to my Lord of the Rings Online class guide video for the Hunter class. Alrighty, so right now I'm having my main character, my huntress, who is an elf named Saelunil, make a campfire, and that is a skill that all of the hunters have. And let's see, I just had her sit down by the campfire, and now I'm trying to get a better angle of it, but I was having a very hard time with that, as you can probably tell. And let's see, yeah, so this video is going to be showcasing everything about the hunters and basically just giving an overview of them and showing you why hunters are a completely awesome class. They are the main ranged class that's in the game, and Saelunil is dancing. And that means that they are the archers in the game, as you can probably tell by the quiver of arrows that is on her back. And I have those cosmetically equipped, but your hunters will indeed shoot arrows, and they can use normal bows and arrows, or they can use crossbows and bolts from the crossbows, or with the crossbows rather. And let's see, in just a moment she will be waving at all of you to say hello. There we go. Say hi, Saelunil! Alrighty, and now she's showing off the camouflage skill, which is another skill that the hunters get. Oh, and by the way, not all of the skills are available at the very, very beginning of the game. You have to earn some of these, so just bear that in mind. And there's Saelunil being all camouflage. See how she's pretty much invisible? She's translucent. You can hardly even see that she's there, but you sort of can. And then she moves, and poof, there she is. Alrighty, and now she is hunting some wargs, and they are a slightly lower level than her. And she's gathering focus right now, and what focus does... Oh yes, and she's setting a trap. What focus does is it enables the hunters to use their most powerful skills, because pretty much all of the hunters' extremely powerful skills require them to have focus. And some of the skills they use, for example, the one she just used, the swift arrow skill that shot 3 arrows at it, that is a skill that gives you focus, because some skills take focus and other ones add focus to your hunters. The penetrating shot skill, the one with the shield and whatnot, the one I have slotted as skill number 4, that's one of the ones that takes focus when you use it, whereas the one next to it, like I said, is one that adds focus when you use it. And see, that skill she just used there gives her focus right away, and the one that's next to it on the right is a skill that you can use in the middle of battle to regain your focus all the way up immediately. And I'm not sure I show that off in this particular video, but I keep using the main focus building skill quite a lot, so you'll see her doing that. And she's just using her bow and arrow to shoot at these wargs now, which is pretty simple. There doesn't need to be much explanation for that, I don't think. But as you can tell, hunters are freaking legit, and she keeps shooting almost every single warg before it even manages to reach her, it's dead. And I really love that about my hunters, because I like being able to kill things before they even get near me. I don't know why, but that just gives me some deep innate satisfaction that I cannot quite explain. But let's see, yep, she's using the swift arrow skill again. I love that skill. And then she's using the barbed arrow skill, which sometimes gives your enemies a little bit of a bleed sort of thing, but not quite. I'm not really sure exactly what it's called that it gives them, but it does them some serious damage, of course. And then, let's see, I'm about to use my upshot skill, which is one of the higher ranked skills that you can get as a hunter if you are in the red class trait line, which is the bowmaster line. And that one is one that does a great deal of damage. It does more damage the more focus you have on your character at that point in time. And so basically, if you have the full 9 parts of focus, the upshot skill will be a great deal more powerful than it would be if you used it when you only had, say, 2 focus. And let's see now, Saelunil's just using her quick shot skill, which is the very first one, and she's always in strength stance, which is the default stance, the first one that you start the game with at this point in time, because I made her about 2 years ago. And I recently made another hunter to see what the class plays like at the low levels nowadays, and it's pretty different. It was a great deal harder back in the day. It's a lot easier to play as a hunter nowadays than it was back then, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And that skill that she just used to set that different trap on the ground, the tripwire one, that's one that you get in the yellow trait line, but you can get more than one trait line. For example, she specializes in the red trait line, which is the main damage line, but she also has some points spent in the yellow line, which is the traps line, for the hunters anyways. So she has some skills from both, but almost all of her skills are either just generic hunter skills, or they are ones from the bowmaster skill line. So keep that in mind as you watch these. So you're seeing a bowmaster at work here, not a huntsman, which is the blue line, or a trapper of foes, which is the yellow line. Alrighty, and let's see, she's using a potion to cure herself of fear right now, because the warg scared the bejesus out of her, apparently. Alrighty, now she's shooting at another enemy. And yeah, I like to use... the reason I have the skills in the order that they are is I use my quick shot to slow my enemies, because when you're in strength stance, like Saelunil pretty much always is, your skills are the strongest they could possibly be as far as how much damage they do your enemies. And when you're in strength stance, the quick shot skill slows your enemies a little bit, which is really nice when you're like me and wanting them dead long before they even reach you. Which doesn't always happen, but it's the ideal situation if you ask me. Alrighty, and she's gonna shoot at another one, and I like to use the upshot to start if I get to have full focus, but now and again I switch it up and just use the quick shot to start or something else, as you probably have noticed by now. And the melee skills, which are the close-up and personal skills that she uses her sword and dagger, and sometimes her swords if she doesn't have a dagger on her at that point in time. Those are the three on the far right side on the bottom of her quick bar. And they can... the one with the boot icon you can use to attack multiple enemies at once, so if you're surrounded by more than one enemy and you're in melee mode at that point in time... oh, she just used the Bard's Arrow skill, which scares your enemies off temporarily. But in any case, the melee skills can be used to hurt more than one enemy if it's the one with the boot. If it's the blind side skill, which is the second to last on the right-hand side, that one, you shoot at it with your bow right after you attack it with your swords or whatever. And then the last one is really, really nice because you can use it to knock out your enemies for a little bit. And I'm not sure what I did there except for look at some poor dude who died. And let's see, using the upshot again. And yeah, and this is how she fights against enemies who are a slightly lower level than her. As you may have noticed, all of the wargs, their names or whatever, are in blue or light blue, and that means that they're a lower level than she is. And at this point in the video, she's level 75, but as I go to different clips and stuff, her level will randomly be different because I did not put these clips into the video in chronological order. I put them in whatever order made the most sense to me other than chronologically. But in any case, you can see here she's fighting with a fellow archer. This is a woman of Dunland who is on the evil side, because not all Dunlandings are evil. But in any case, there she was fighting with the evil woman there. And gathering branches because I have her as a woodworker for her crafting vocation, and taking a look at her deep wound that other archer gave her, which was not very nice if you ask me. But okay, let's see, is this dude ranged or is he melee? Oh, he's melee because he's running at her. Let's see if she'll be able to kill it before it even gets to her. Nope, there she is using the melee skills, as I said. There we go. Okay, so Saelunil just set a trap here, and she's going to be trapping that cat and its human, and that is one of the best uses of a trap I've ever been able to catch on film, which is fantastic, and that is the main time I like to use traps, because I'm a little bit lazy, I'm not gonna lie. I don't always set traps for my enemies, just because I know Saelunil is perfectly capable of shooting them down before they get to her, or at least getting them dead enough that once they're in melee, they can easily be taken out with her, like, 3 melee skills. But in any case, that was really good, because I like to use my traps, especially when as soon as I get the aggression of one enemy, another one is going to come right away because they're standing next to each other. So I like to pick one that I'm attacking and then get the other one stuck in the trap so that I can deal with them individually. And holy crap, he put a scary spell on me. Dang! Oh dang! Oh dang! That was scary, guys. You see she's killing the sorcerer dude there, even though he made her a little bit afraid. And let's see, I think I will soon be using one of the tracking skills. And apparently I'm getting wood first. Okay, that's cool. Alrighty. Ah yes, now I'm tracking my foes. There's 3 different tracking type skills, excuse me, that hunters earn over time. The first one is the one where you hunt for beasts, which are just animals, and I'll show that one off quite a bit in a little while. And the one I just used now was the one where you hunt for your foes, which are just humans who have gone evil, or dour-hand dwarves, or orcs, or goblins, things of that nature. And the third one is the one where you search for things that are just pure evil, like spirits of the dead, the unseen, things like the freaking Nazgul, wights. Okay, and I just apparently skipped over to fighting these humans who are the same level as Saelunil at this point, so you can see what the difference is between fighting levels, well, enemies that are a lower level and enemies that are the same level as you, and there is obviously barely any difference whatsoever with that. And getting those infamous birch branches, oh my goodness. I still need to have her collect more of those, but that's a story for another time. Oh yes, and there she is shooting at another archer, and you may be able to see some of his arrows getting stuck in her. I'm not sure if you can see that right now because the screen I'm looking at right now is way too tiny to tell. But, yeah. One thing I really like that they added in a recent update is exactly what I just said. The fact that you can see arrows in your enemy or in yourself if you get shot at by archers. That did not used to be a thing. I do not remember exactly when they put that in, but I think that it was in update number 13. But don't quote me on that because I do not remember for sure. Alrighty, that thing's dead now. Okay, and now I'm showing off the looking for beasts skill because I was having to find these horrid bugs. Ugh. I was having to look for massively oversized bug thingies in a swamp. And obviously with all that super tall grass, it was extremely hard to tell where they were, so I just used the skill to find them. And oh my gosh, it threw me backwards! That's not nice of you, you stupid bug warrior thingy! Ah, those bugs are annoying, I do not like them! And let's see, she's gonna search for it again as soon as the cooldown wears off, because if I remember correctly, those have a 30-second cooldown or something like that. Some not too long, but not exactly short either cooldown on that. On those 3 skills. And you can only, as you can probably tell, use one of those skills at a time. Like, you can't look for beasts and then immediately go looking for normal foes like evil humans right after that. You have to wait till the cooldown for all 3 of them. And let's see, she's about to use the upshot on the evil bug. There she goes, shooting at the evil bug. Die, evil bug. And there she goes. Oh yes, Saelunil. Okay, and I have a tendency to use the boot skill thingy, which I honestly don't remember the name of right now. I apologize for that. It's probably been moused over at some point in the video. I don't know. I'm sorry. But in any case, that skill I have a tendency to use even on just one enemy quite a lot, even though it works on multiple enemies, just because there's so few melee skills now, because as of update 12, which was the Helm's Deep update, which was back in November of 2013, all of the classes in the entire game got a huge overhaul, but I feel like the hunters got a really big overhaul, because they used to have an awful lot more melee skills than they do now. But their ranged skills seem to be stronger than they were before, to me at least, so I feel like that's okay, so it kind of balanced it out a bit better. And here she goes looking for more bugs, and as you can see, except for at the moment, that's awkward, because it was glitching out at this particular point, because you may have noticed that on the mini-map, as soon as she started to track an enemy, it would appear with a bigger little red dot than otherwise. And here she's fighting some signature evil creepy dead people. And there she just used the burn hot skill or something like, I think that's what it's called. It's the one where she screamed and looked all epic and really rage fest like. And that one made her temporarily a lot stronger than usual. And now I'm using one of my favorite skills, the Heartseeker skill. That one does huge damage, as you probably noticed. Oh yes, and there I just used the instant focus skill, the intent concentration skill. And there she is fighting the ghost, and even though its morale was originally hugely high compared to hers, she did it in quite easily. Let's see now what's happening. Okay, she's attacking another one, it seems. Yeah, she's attacking another evil, massively scary bad dude. Rah! I love watching her do that, because she just, like, screams to the heavens. And one thing about the Heartseeker skill is that it is available really quickly on with the red trait tree line, which is the damage line, which is Bowmaster, as I have said. And it used to be a skill that you had to be a really high level to earn, and all hunters earned it, but they changed it so that now only Bowmaster hunters can have that skill, or at least those who put points into that trait tree line do. Ooh, yes! This is where it gets exciting, you guys! Okay, so now, yes, there's the burn hot again. Scream, Saelunil! Scream for your little life! Now she's using arrows tipped with fire! Because one thing that hunters can do that is extremely awesome in my opinion, and I really love doing it because it just looks so cool, dang it, is that you can have your hunters put different kinds of oil onto their arrows. And the oil that makes fire is the one that she has on her arrows right now, so her arrows are burning, flaming, on fire when she shoots them off of her bow and into her enemies right now. And there is also light arrows, which is basically some sort of strange magical elvish oil, which we will be seeing later on. But right now, see, her enemies are pretty much catching in flames when she shoots them. Bashang! Bashang! He's burning! Oh yeah! Oh, I just love hunters so much. Can you tell? I love them. I love my hunters. Oh man. Oh, and there is that shot, which I couldn't read what its name was, and I almost never use that one. But there it was. There it was. You saw what it did. Heck yes. Alrighty, burning ghosts. Because that makes sense. Let's burn us some ghosts. Oh yeah. And, one thing I don't think I've mentioned about the fire and light oils is that they do, different types of damage than normal arrows, and as you probably noticed whenever I mouse over any of the skills, is that it renames the vast majority of your archery skills whenever you have any of those, oils on your arrows. So, all of the ones when you have, all of the skills except for, like, this one, Heartseeker, pretty much, are renamed whenever you have the flaming arrows going on. It just renames it to something relating to fire or whatever. And then it's a similar deal when you have light oil on your arrows, and it just renames everything to elvish sounding stuff. Like the first one I believe is like Elvish Arrow or something like that, but we'll be seeing that fairly soon. Fairly soon. I was having a little bit too much fun shooting things with fire, so this part is a little bit longer than the part with the light arrows will be, but that's okay, because things are blowing up into flames. Heck yes! Oh, he's a chicken, get back here, you stinking chicken. Ugh, brigands are such cowards, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you. Ugh! And let's see, she's going to set a trap here because there's two enemies right there, and it was really hard for me to tell if both of them would be coming at her at the same time. But I think only one does. Oh, nope, they both do. Let's see, does the ghost get caught in the trap? Yes, he does. But then he starts to do an induction. Oh, dear. How does Saelunil handle this? She shoots him with the penetrating shot. And then the quick shot. And penetrating again. Oh, yeah. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet that I really, really should is that I'm sure you've noticed, and I've said, too, that there's only 3 melee skills for the hunters now. And you actually have another one if you're in the huntsman line. You get a 4th one, I believe. But in any case, there's very, very few melee skills, and your enemies have a tendency to get within melee range of you relatively often, even though a lot of them, if they're like on level or just barely below, they usually are pretty much dead or dead like that before they even reach you. But it is perfectly okay to use your bow skills at close range. And that's actually a better idea than using really, really low melee skills if you don't have like much of them, or if your enemy's still really, really high with its morale. Like, for example, if that ghost that I'm shooting at now, let's see, yeah, it's still really, really high with its morale right here, see? So you'll notice that I'm not just using my melee skills. I will very soon be using, see, I'm using Swift Arrow right there. So don't be afraid if you have a hunter to use your bow and arrow skills up close, because they can be a very good thing to have when you're up close, even though melee skills make more sense logically. But anyway, I'm shooting at this dude, and I set a trap because I wasn't sure if that ghost would be drawn to me at that point in time, but it was not, obviously. So I just used upshot and stuff on it, and it almost but didn't quite reach the trap. Stupid brigand. Ah, here I go. Now I switch to light, because after 5 minutes with the particular sort of oil that I have, because I just have the cheapest, lamest kind, because I'm too lazy to make nicer ones for myself. But anyway, I have the light arrows on her now, and oh my gosh. I love the way the light ones look, because see, they're just like shining little stars flying to kill evil things. It's so great. So great, you guys. It's so great. So great. And everything gets renamed to elvish stuff. So with Saelunil, I like to have her use her light arrow stuff, her light oil, just because it's elvish and she's an elf. And oh yeah, another thing I haven't mentioned. Gosh, there's so many things I forget to mention and then I just mentioned. But anyway, all 4 of the races that are available to play in LOTRO are indeed able to be made as hunters. You can have a man hunter who is a human, so man or woman really. You can have an elf, obviously, because I'm playing one as a hunter. You can have a dwarf hunter, or you can have a hobbit hunter, and that is all 4. And the class is based off of Legolas, the Prince of Mirkwood, because he is very, very much renowned for his bow skills and his tracking skills and things like that. And so that is where the inspiration for the hunter class came from for the game makers. And what is this piece of rubble thingy she's going to investigate now? Ooh, interesting. I do not know. I do not know. Apparently it wasn't anything exciting. Alright, now she's shooting at more things with light arrows again. More of the dead dudes and brigands. Because this place where she's in right now is completely full of them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can read on the inductions thing what the names of them are, even for the ones I don't mouse over. Because it renames them to like Elvish Arrow and Eldarin Arrow and things like that. I think the Eldarin Arrow is the one with the barbed arrow. I think, pretty sure. Anyways, setting another trap. Because I felt obligated to use traps a lot while filming to make parts for this video. And also because I use them pretty often, because that's a big deal with hunters, is the use of traps. And you're a smart hunter if you take good advantage of your traps. You're a stupid hunter, or a lazy one, or both, if you ignore them, like, all the time. Because at the very beginning you can use the trap skill that's in red, the one that I just used not very long ago. But as I've said, the other one you need to put points in the yellow trait line to get the tripwire skill. And I was investigating to see if there was anything clickable there, and there was not. And let's see, she's going to jump over this wall, through this wall. Yes, there she goes. And then she pretty much fell onto that brigand and ghost, which was not good. Scared the bejesus out of me, so I used Cry of the Hunter and ran away bravely. I love this skill. You can get it at level 20, I believe, now, which is awesome. You needed to be a ridiculously high level to get it before, but now you only need to be level 20. And you can use it to give yourself a temporary morale buff and temporarily knock out the enemies who are within a close vicinity of you, and do what I'm doing here and run the heck away very, very bravely, I might add. Because I don't like dying. It really annoys me, because it sends you to the nearest respawn location, and I have no idea where that is in this particular region, because I was very new to questing in this area. So as you can see, I had a whole ton of ghosts on my tail. But I was running for my little life. I was running. I got out of there. and I escaped to live in quests another day. Oh yes, that's what I did. And then I fainted. Alrighty, and this is a very interesting part of the video where I am going to be using my teleporting skills, or guide to wherever the heck it happens to be to skills. And those you unlock through time in the game. Oh, I'm pulling out my war steed that I very, very recently earned now. But anywho, I'm going to be randomly dwarf-napping my younger brother, who is that dwarf right there, Guardorin. And I'm going to be taking him all over Middle-earth, pretty much, just to show you guys that not only can you teleport yourself if you're a hunter, but you can also take people in your fellowship who are standing very near to you with you when you teleport to random places. So he was in Ostgirth, which is in the Lone Lands, and once he quits running about like a weirdo... Oh yeah, and before I say that, there is a skill called Find the Path that lets you run 15% faster than anybody else, or at least 15% faster than you would otherwise, and people in your fellowship who are standing near you also get that buff too, which is super, super nice. Oh, there we are at Thorin's Hall, and I think I randomly make a campfire while I'm here, which is a little weird, but hey, why not? It's a hunter thing, might as well, right? And he's just running in circles like a weird person, being thrilled that he can go so much faster than normal because of my Find the Path skill that is currently on him. Ah, there I go with the fire. Well, hey, in my defense, Thorin's Hall is very cold and snowy, so you might want a fire, right? And then I'm cheering. Okay, I'm cool. But anyway, yeah, so hunters are really, really nice because they can make fires, and then if you have a cook, they can use the fires to make different food and stuff without needing to be anywhere near an oven for the most part, unless they need an oven for that recipe. But if they just need a campfire, you can use a hunter's fire for that. And it's also extremely helpful if you're in the really, really frigid cold lands of Forichel, because that place gives you all sorts of negative buffs and stuff like that, and debuffs I think they're called actually, yeah, if you get too cold there. So the campfire is extremely helpful with that because it helps you warm up. And let's see, I'm randomly, oh my god, I'm taking him to Angmar right now. Angmar is really scary, just for the record, as you'll see in a moment. And I'm in the nice part of Angmar when we teleport there. Oh, and another thing that I should note, you can only teleport someone else to a location if they have already been there themselves at some point in time. So, for example, Angmar is a level 40 region type of thing, whereas my younger brother is only level 32 there. But he made a random trip to Angmar like a weird person and pretty much died the second he left this particular part of it, because that's the only safe part. But as long as you've been there before, you can be taken there by a hunter, and for the love of all that's holy, people, if you have a character who's not a hunter, do not pester random hunters and be like, take me to this place, or take me to that place. It's extremely annoying. Don't do that. It's rude. It's not nice. If you have a friend who's a hunter, maybe you can ask them, but for the love of God, don't solicit poor innocent random hunters. Please! Okay, and I just took him to Rivendell, examined the beautiful, beautiful Rivendell sky, which is much nicer than Angmar. Just saying. Alrighty, and then what am I doing here? I think I do a random backflip or something. Yes, I do. I did a random backflip, and he laid down on the ground. Oh yeah, and I keep pulling up the skill thing instead of going to my quick bar because I have so many random teleportation skills that I did not have enough room to have all of them on my quick slots anymore once I reached a certain level. I don't remember exactly when that was. So some of them are just in my main skill thing that I have to pull up with the character panel. Alrighty, and as you can see here, now I'm dropping him back off where we started in Ostgirth because I didn't want to strand him in a random place and leave him with no way to get back there. And he waves bye-bye. Alrighty, and now Saelunil is fighting this horrid orc, and she got poisoned, so she's going to use her hunter ability to cure poisons on herself, and in just a moment you'll see me doing that for my younger brother in the game. Oh no, you're poisoned! I can fix you. I unpoisoned you. Now I'm getting back on Arondir. There. you got poisoned again. Time to fix you again. Okay, so now I'm doing strange things to a goat to wish you all goodbye. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give it a like and to subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. And I will be seeing you all in the next video. I hope this was informative, and bye-bye, goat, and